Load up the old beer bat. Coming up on CHGO Cubs, presented by Toyota and Bet365. Dansby delivers the Cubs win for the 8th time in 10 games. Vibe with us next. Use the code CHGO365 at sign up. Speaking of never ordinary, the Chicago Cubs have won for the 8th time in 10 games.
I'm having a lot of fun once again.
Having flashbacks is what I'm having. I don't know what's going on. Cubs win 10-6.
Yeah.
And they have won their 3rd straight series, winning baseball at Wrigley Field. They're playing the right type of ball in cold weather. Everything seems to be going right. By the way, this will be our last show on CHGO Sports YouTube page.
Mm-hmm.
After tonight, all the shows will only be on the new CHGO Cubs YouTube channel. So make sure you go over there and subscribe and flip on over right now tonight, because if you're trying to get in on the chat, which a lot of people do, the chat will only be on CHGO Cubs YouTube channel in about 10 minutes. It's going to flip over, and then we will not be on the CHGO Sports YouTube page at all anymore.
Yep.
Starting tomorrow for tomorrow's postgame show. So keep an eye on that. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. If you know somebody who's a Cubs fan, tell them about it and tell them to subscribe so they don't miss out.
Absolutely.
And that way you don't miss out on any of the fun shows. Right now, the chat is flying. I can't even keep track of it. It's moving so quickly.
Yeah. Hit that like button for us. That way other Cubs fans can find us. And, yeah, we're vibing right now. We've won 8 of 10. We've won another series. That's 3 straight series. Wins. A chance to sweep tomorrow. And if they lose in brutal fashion, we'll come here and complain about it. But for right now, I'm enjoying myself, my friends. Because we used to dream of times like this. The last time I used to dream like this, it was last April when they started off hot. So, you know, you don't have to get the reality spray. But, hey, a win is a win. And honestly, I know it got a little dicey there, but won by 4 runs. And I felt like when this team has faced adversity this year, they've been responding in a positive way. So,
yes,
hopeful about that continuing. And, well, how many times did we say last year, Luke, that Dansby Swanson, when he's healthy, he's a much better player? How many times we say it, Luke? I'd love to know.
A lot. I just heard Craig Counsell as we were walking over here in his post-game press conference talking about how he's definitely healthy, and there were definitely times he wasn't himself last year. Maybe there's blame to go around for that. I don't know. But right now, it doesn't matter for this season because he's healthy and he's off to a great start.
Yeah, no. He's
not just a good start. He's off to a great start.
I mean, we got the wind blowing in, and he's hitting a tank out to left field. Baseball Savant said it would have left all 30 ballparks in baseball. You got that. He's got the 2 RBIs to give the Cubs a lead late.
2 for 4 home run, sac fly, game-winning single, and stolen base.
Yeah, and he had a great defensive play in the 9th inning.
He did.
Yeah, and so he's giving you the entire package right now. He is giving you, he is giving you what he gave the Cubs largely for a large part of 2023, which was nearly a 5-WAR player. That is what he's giving you right now, because the offense is back to what I was used to in 23, and the defense has always been there. And is he going to come through every single time? No. Is he going to have 4 RBI nights every day? No. Is he doing more than what I'm expecting with the bat right now to start the year? Yes. But as long as there's no 2-month stretch where you're hitting below 200 because you're playing through an injury, you're probably going to be a very, very valuable player for you. So, I mean, I think him and Nico aren't being talked about enough in terms of the success of the start of this season. And, you know, I wish I could just say that the Cubs have the best infield in baseball, but we got questions at third base, and, you know, who knows what's happening at first base sometimes. But I think we can confidently sit here and argue about the Cubs having one of the, if not the best, up the middle infield in baseball. And
defensively,
it's fun.
Just up the middle.
Yeah, defensively,
Period.
just up the middle, yeah.
And we'll see, because I think PCAs look better. We'll talk about him too. But you're right about Dansby. Mm-hmm. Like, first of all, we have said since the very beginning, the people that have been angry at Dansby Swanson don't realize that he's not supposed to be your cleanup hitter.
Yeah.
On a really good team, he's right where he needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
And he's getting those opportunities. Having Tucker in the lineup has stretched things out. It's made the offense look different. I think Healthy's making Dansby look different.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot to like about him. There's a lot to like.
Yeah, it's amazing what happens when you're healthy, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it's amazing what happens and how views change when you're winning.
That too, yeah. And what's crazy is that he's consistently been in the 5-hole to start the year, which is not somewhere I personally think that he should be in.
Well, I could even slide him one more down, but when he's batting like this, I'm thrilled with him at 5.
That's what I was getting at, is that I'd prefer him to be somewhere in that 6-7 hole, but with where this roster is right now, I think me and you both agree they probably need one more bat and they need one more starter. If we're flying high here in mid to late July and they want to add to this roster, like another bat is certainly certainly a thing that they could do if they wanted to. I don't know what position. We have all summer to talk about that, but in terms of like where this lineup is, I mean, it's looked deep, but it's looked deep because Dansby's playing better than we've thought. You know, you've had the contributions from just the entire catching tandem, and Nico has been awesome coming off an injury where he rehabbed the entire offseason. So, you know, like those are the big early season surprises for me, are those three things.
Luke Stuckmeyer and Cody Del Mendo, by the way. We have Joey running the 1s and 2s right now, and Joey made a good point before we came out here. Last year, there were periods where you would have said this is a lost game because the bullpen gave up the runs, they couldn't hold the Rangers, and it would have snowballed downhill, and we would have chalked it up as the third game this year where you would have said, well, that's one they should have had. Now, keep in mind, they have won, I said 8 out of 10. The 2 that they lost, they should have won. They should be on a 10-game winning streak.
To start the year? Yeah.
Right? They very easily could have won 10 in a row. The last 2 Sundays have been the difference.
Chicago Cubs offense currently hitting .290 with runners in scoring position right now. Does that hold up? Probably not, but man, it feels good.
Yeah,
we don't get to see that very often. Streaks like that.
Savor it.
Listen, they
5 for 15 tonight.
They have 17 runs and 22 hits in the first 2 games of this series. And it has been freezing cold at Wrigley Field. I wouldn't even want to stand there with a wooden bat in my hands, let alone swing it. We got a super chat, $10 from Isaac. This Cubs team is different, aggressive, efficient, and somehow seemingly showing signs of that clutch gene. Googly eyes.
Eye emoji, yeah.
Eye emoji, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what
you call them. It's kind of the...
But thank you for the super chat. We appreciate that, Isaac.
Yeah, thank you. No, I agree with what he's saying. Yeah, this team looks different to start the year, and I'm doing everything I can right now, my friends, to not get too excited because this happened last April, and it was mixed in with a few games that they should have won too. So in my PTSD is telling me in a little small way that I've seen this movie before. How are we going to be playing in May and June, right? But I'm not letting myself hold back from enjoying this because, as we know, the baseball season's a marathon, and there will be fun and good moments, and there will undoubtedly at some point be some form of a slump. So that's why winning these games early in the season are important to get off to a good start and put yourself in position to be in position to make, trade deadline acquisitions and, playoff positioning if we're lucky enough to be talking about that in September. So to round that all out, it's just I'm currently having fun.
Ivy says, bring on the Dodgers. There, I said it. Please don't spray me. See, Ivy's just trying to get sprayed now. That's what's going on. People have decided that the Cubs reality spray is somewhat fun. And maybe they would enjoy, like, one of those foam parties.
Is that?
I've never been to one, but I've seen it in the movies. The foam party. Have you ever been to a foam party?
PCB 2015. If you know, you know. Millennials will know.
Listen, some of the lines on guys. Obviously, the Dansby 2 for 4 RBI. Seiya 3 for 4, 2 RBI. PCA 3 for 5, I believe, tonight. And Kyle Tucker has now reached base 32 times in his 13-game on-base streak. Thank you.
He's awesome.
And more, please.
Yeah.
Thank you and more, please. I mean, it seems sort of silly to say one guy can change a lineup because baseball's not really that sport. Like, one basketball player can change a basketball team. But he has certainly impacted the lineup.
Yeah, well, we sat here in the offseason and there was a lot of discourse about, would Kyle Tucker be the big, would he be able to change the entire lineup? Well, I just talked about a few guys that are playing better offensively than I was expecting to start the season. I did not expect Dansby Swanson to be doing what he's doing to start the year. I expected Nico Horner to be who Nico Horner is, but again, missed all of spring training in terms of games played until the last week of the spring, and he's been very productive on top of being awesome on defense, and then your catching tandem has played well too. So, does Kyle Tucker's effect is the effect of Kyle Tucker helping those guys or taking pressure off those guys for success? Perhaps. I don't know, Joey. At
least you can buy into the fact that they're leading the National League and maybe Major League Baseball in walks right now. Kyle Tucker, that's exactly what he does. And they're not giving away at bats, and they're grinding stuff out. And some of that is Kyle Tucker's game. So a little bit of that residue you'd like to think is rubbing off a little.
I like to think if we were to make this argument that he's changing the entire lineup, he is the guy that when the bottom of the lineup is coming up, but that top of the lineup is right around the corner. And if anyone at the bottom of the lineup does some form of action to get an inning going, like Matt Shaw, 7 straight games with a walk, he scored tonight, right?
His batting average hasn't been impressive, but at least he's walking.
Right. But the point I'm getting at, he's been able to get on base. He's been able to be productive, right? Carson Kelly, Miguel Amaya, they've been productive at the bottom of the lineup. Then you got, when you flip to the top of the lineup and you got Happ, who, again, gets on base. Could you say he's been off to a normal Ian Happ slow start? I guess in some aspects, but he hasn't hit a hot stretch, right? He hasn't hit the prototypical Ian Happ hot 2-3 weeks, right? But either way, with him there, teams know that Kyle Tucker is coming up. Now, he hit third tonight because they faced a lefty, but teams are keeping an eye on where Kyle Tucker is in the lineup, and in a way, his presence, whether he's not really even scheduled to come up, some innings, it forces teams to act a certain way because they know just how good at baseball that he is. So I'm mentioning the bottom of the lineup more so because the bottom of the lineup has been so productive, and when the lineup flips and you got Happ, Tucker, Seiya, and there's guys on base, do you think teams want to see Kyle Tucker come up to the plate with runners on? Absolutely not. So I think in many ways he is changing the lineup, but I also do think that, there's some guys who are really stepping up and playing really good baseball. And, PCA's been a roller coaster, but he's going to hit a hot stretch at some point, I hope. He had tonight may be the first of it, but there's going to be guys who go up and down all season, but I think Kyle Tucker will be the mainstay in this lineup all summer.
I want to get to Chef Kevin's chat in just a second. We got to do some of our quick sponsors here. Corey mentioned 6 walks tonight. Hey, man, I keep preaching it. 6 walks to 0 tonight. They keep winning the walk battle. by a heavy margin, and it pays off in cold weather like this. Some of you are going to need this spray before the night is over. I'm telling you, it's getting a little out of control, but thanks for being in the chat. We'll be right back. We're going to talk more about this great Cubs win, 10-6 over the Rangers, 3 straight series wins. But first, Cody, a word from our sponsors.
Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use code CHGO365, deposit $10, place a bet for $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. So it doesn't even matter if your bet wins or loses, you're getting $150 in bonus bets. One of the great features on Bet365 right now is they got the MLB early payout offer. With the Bet365 early payout offer, you're a winner if your team goes 5 runs ahead with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. Download the app and use code CHGO365 when you sign up. I believe last night you would have cashed out pretty early,
yep.
Right? Not so much tonight because I don't think they led by 5, but the game on Saturday against the Padres, you would have cashed out early. So it's a really fun promo. Definitely check it out. Again, new customers, when you deposit $10 and bet 5, you get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Use code CHGO365, deposit that money, like I said, and you will get those bonus bets. You can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be assessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
I have a tough time tracking where my money goes, and I know I'm not alone. Those financial blind spots, the constant deliveries to the door, online shopping, finances can be messy and confusing, but Monarch Money acts like your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control so you can stop earning and start growing. It's more than your average budgeting app. Monarch Money is a complete financial command center for your accounts, your investments, and your goals. Don't just manage your money. Start building wealth with 50% off your first year for our listeners. I want to save some money for my kids' college. I want to retire someday. Both are insanely expensive. With all your accounts, credit cards, and investments in one place, you'll always know where your money stands without the hassle. Named the Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025. Get control of your overall finances with Monarch Money. Use the code CHGO at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code CHGO. If you are new to the CHGO Cubs YouTube chat or just the show or the podcast, the way we do it is the Cubs win, we do a show, Cody does a beer bat chug. 10.25 and under on the stopwatch is what we consider a quality chug. He is now 4 for 5, I believe, on the season in quality chugs. Last night was debatable. Some people said he was over. I gave him the go-ahead for it. Now he will make a dedication. There's many choices tonight this could go to.
Yes.
And if it gets out of hand, I always have the reality spray and the authority to spray him even though he's doing a chug, and it could be dangerous.
I would just like to say, first off, that the lack of foam here is
pour.
Is a good pour here. All right.
Sam Adams American Light.
Sam Adams American Light. Only them.
You don't want to feel bloated after a beer bat chug.
You're right.
That's the way to do it.
Absolutely. Also, I love the poll that Joey put up on the YouTube. I saw it in Slack while we were reading the ads. So,
and again, I would like to encourage people, if you want to beer bat chug along with Cody responsibly at home, go ahead and hit us on social with a video of it.
Yeah, we always encourage that. All right.
We'll let you go head to head.
Tonight's dedication, we'll just give it to Dansby. We just talked about him. He's the reason they won tonight in terms of offense, in my opinion. So I'm enjoying watching him be healthy, play healthy, and really display the type of player that he basically has been. Maybe he's outperforming projections a little bit here, but he's looking a lot like 2022, 2023 Dansby Swanson right now, and that's a really good, fun player. So
a lot of good predictions here. Sean Caselli with his standard 6.9 seconds. Rob says 10. We've got a 9.87 from Vince. Barb says 9.8. Greg Hawkins 9.66. 10.5 for Jordo. Jay says 9.62. The clock starts when the beer hits his lips. Sam Adams American Light. Here he goes, and we are underway. Cody Delmendo, the beer bat chug. I might have started just slightly late, but he's going straight through this. He's down 1. He's down 2. Here he comes down the stretch, and he's almost done, and boom. I've got him at 9 flat. You got him at 9.72?
I had 9.72, but this is my first time.
It doesn't matter, Joey. It's under 10.25. That's a quality beer bat chug. That is now 5 out of 6, similar to the type of run that the Chicago Cubs are on right now. And I would have to say the dedication pretty soon is just going to have to go to Sam Adams American Light, because clearly it's making a difference.
It's making my life easier. And, when the Cubs win, I'm happier.
854. Jake called 854.
I saw that too. I was like, high praise. High praise.
Yeah, if I were to get under 9 seconds, that is high praise.
I don't know if you're ever going to get to 6.9. Sean keeps pushing for it.
I appreciate Sean's confidence. Nice dude. Comes to every Friday 120. But man, 6.9 is going to be hard. Nice. But
I think
it will be nice if it ever happens though.
Chef had a comment here before we went into our commercial break. Scroll back here. Chef was talking about them sort of, you're getting closer. It's before all this.
Closer. You're close.
We're talking about the CHGO Cubs YouTube channel live chat, which is the best way to enjoy our experience. So make sure you subscribe to the new CHGO Cubs YouTube page. Look, see, this is how far we got to go back. This is the problem now that everybody's on here.
People are feeling it.
You can search his name too, Joey.
Chef Kevin, I believe.
There he is.
Good to see them running the bases so well, playing solid defense, taking walks, and getting on base. Solid baseball. Amen, Chef Kevin.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, because we're going to sit here all summer long and watch this baseball team, and there will be nights where you want to pound your head into a brick wall. But if they play baseball that way, you can forgive them on the nights that you're frustrated. When they play baseball this way on the days when you're not seeing 3 home runs or 4 home runs, that's what I want to see out of my baseball team. I want to see clean, fundamental baseball and excelling at the small things. We thought it was going to all happen when Counsell got here. Mm-hmm. But it didn't necessarily happen last season. And so far this season, the one thing you can say, sure, you might knock the bullpen sometimes, and there might not be perfect games of offense, but they have played fundamental baseball. They've been great on the base paths. They've been very good defensively. Situational baseball, taking their walks, all of those things, and that makes it a more enjoyable experience for me.
Yeah, the fact that they're not shooting themselves in the foot.
You're watching professionals.
Yeah.
Instead of guys that want to be professionals.
Right. Yeah, no, PCA drove in those 2 runs in the 9th, and then he got caught in between first and second. That might have been the first time in the last week.
But you can be aggressive when you're up.
Yeah, well, he drove
4 runs at that point.
He drove in those 2 runs, and I'm assuming he thought maybe they're going to throw home and whatever. It didn't happen. The point is I don't remember the last time something like that happened so far this season. And last year, I felt like you could name something every week like that happening. So their base running has been very good, very crisp. Craig Counsell has talked about it in postgame yesterday, kind of highlighting how important that was and how much they stressed that in the spring. And I do think things like that, manager, coaching staff, stuff like that stuff can be implemented by those people, right? Like, I do think at the end of the day, players got to perform, make right decisions, but they've really focused on it because Craig Counsell sat in that dugout last year and watched the Cubs get thrown out on the bases all the time, right? And you're not seeing it nearly as much so far this season. That's a great sign. On top of, I think it's that. I think they're hitting situationally so much better, and it's not even with just runners in scoring position. It's like you got a guy on second base and you hit the ball the right side even. You know what I mean? Like, it just, to me, they are doing all of the little things, the marginal things that we've talked about for 2 years that we're like, can you just do the little things well? And the team needed to do the little things well in order for them to win. And here we are, 9-5. The chance of sweep tomorrow could be 10-5 going to LA. So I think the marginal, playing well in the margins and the base running, those are like the 2 things that I'm like, this is why this offense looks so good right now.
Yeah, we spent the first half talking about Kyle Tucker. I love this comment from Tim Carroll here in the chat that says PCA Nico on the base pass is just glorious chaos for opposing defenses. Yeah. Part of the problem last year, in my opinion, was that second half of the lineup a lot of automatic outs. But all these guys, Matt Shaw hitting less than 200, it's okay. He's third in the National League in runs scored. So they're finding different ways.
Cubs catchers.
Yeah,
Cubs
smart
catchers.
base running. Cubs catchers driving in runs. I mean, that second half of the lineup is that glorious chaos right now, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, they have speed. Like
They got the power. They got the speed.
like like PCA is tops in the league in sprint speed, right? But Nico, Dansby, we've seen John Birdie steal bases, and Kyle Tucker has decent speed enough to steal bases. We saw a few days ago Seiya get into second base on an attempt to get thrown out at second base. I think it was that Friday game.
Council's the one that said, this was after that play, he had said that they've scored 6 runs on just beating the force at second base this season. That's a lot of runs.
Right. And
based on hustle.
Right. So I think the team has a lot of speed, especially towards the bottom of the lineup. Will the power arrive? I mean, Dansby's hit some. Seiya's got 4. Tucker's right up there with Judge with tops in the league or tops in baseball. Like, I guess they have some form of power. You can name 6 guys on this roster right now that could hit hit 20 plus homers this year.
It warms up.
Happ, Tucker, Seiya, Swanson, Bush. Yeah, and then maybe is that 5? Maybe there's another. Maybe they can get 6. Maybe I don't know.
Bush, Swanson, Tucker, Seiya, Happ. It's at least 5 now. Getting to a 6th might be.
Delulu.
Miguel Amaya hits 20.
Yeah.
You'll be having yourself a season.
Yeah. If Miguel Amaya has a 20 home run season,
it's a lot of beer bats then this summer for Cody.
I'm gonna be so high on life. If Miguel Amaya has a 20 home run season, I'm gonna be so high on life.
Are we gonna have to do like a Lionel Richie all night long dance?
Brought to you by Sunnyside.
Brought to you by Sunnyside. All day, every day.
CHGO. Hold on. I wanted to read something that our guy Brendan Miller wrote on Twitter. Pete Crow Armstrong is making 80% contact. This is the best stretch of contact at any trackable level in his career. He's also swinging the bat 2 to 3 miles per hour faster. It feels like he's on the verge of an offensive breakthrough. Faster swings, smarter swings, and fewer whiffs. Listen, he had 3 hits tonight. It looked better. Like, he hasn't gotten off to a great start offensively. He's doing all those other things to create all that chaos, and he's still been electric in other facets of the game. But was he hitting necessarily the way he did at the end of the season like we just hoped it would continue? Well, baseball's not really that linear path, as Theo used to say. There's ups and downs, but maybe there's an upslide coming here. Mm-hmm. And when he plays like that, like Joey was saying, when he's near the bottom of the order and he's playing at a very high level offensively, I don't know if I don't know if I need to see the 1 bunt hit a week that he's trying to get.
Yeah.
I didn't care for the 2 bunts the other day in retrospect, but like whatever it takes, maybe that gave him some confidence. I don't care what it is. If he can change the bottom of the lineup, you're going to need to start spraying me. You're going to need to start spraying me too. It's not just going to be my water bottle.
Yeah. People in the chat are mentioning that John Birdie led baseball in stolen bases in 2022. And admittedly, I didn't know that.
I didn't
know that until like 2 days ago when they said it on the broadcast. So
he stole 2nd and 3rd yesterday.
I'm sorry I didn't watch a lot of Miami Marlins baseball. Related to PCA though, I liked his at-bats tonight. Now, I said the other day that the only concern I have with PCA is that he struggled against lefties. Of course he hits well off lefties tonight because I said it. So maybe I just need to keep saying it so he keeps hitting off lefties. Now, Patrick Corbin is Patrick Corbin, but whatever. First at bat against Patrick Corbin, first pitch, hits it right up the middle. Right? I feel like he needs to be aggressive early in counts maybe to get himself going. Because I think if he gets a fastball down the zone, because I think he likes it low, if he can get a fastball down low early in the count, I think he can do something with it. And I think that's what he did in his first at bat, hit it straight up the middle, and he swung at the first pitch his next at bat too. So he came out a little aggressive tonight at the plate, and I kind of like that because it felt like maybe he was being a little too patient through some of those bad games he had on offense. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or the next day, whatever, but it was good to see him create some chaos. 2 stolen bases tonight, 2 hits, 2 RBIs. I mean, that's what we're looking for. We are just kind of like playing around with like what he could be with this game.
Don't make me do it. I see Dr. Professor 756 says, who sprays the sprayer? I do. This is my sprayer. It's for him. He gets a little delulu sometimes.
There was a guy that
you win 8 out of 10. And all of a sudden, you got to hit the guy a little bit. Wake him up. Say, hey, hold on. It's early.
I'm pretty sure Vince said in the chat that he thinks PCA's got 20 at him. He said, but don't spray me, though.
We don't have the Ben Zobrist autograph, so I can spray the table tonight.
Yeah. But either way, I mean, PCA, we still have to remember that he's young. Once he just kind of figures it out. And I know that August last year and September, you felt like he maybe had figured it out. Maybe he has. It's just like it's the beginning of the season and things just aren't clicking like they did in the spring. I don't know. I do think that he might always just be kind of a streaky hitter, though. I don't know if we're ever going to see consistency with the bat.
You think vibes are high now? Wait till the ass man gets back to this team. All right, we're going to talk more Cubs baseball in a second. His glasses look like my readers. First, a word from our sponsors. Toyota's got 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. They have more than any other auto brand. Chicago winter, Chicago spring, man, it can be brutal. But Toyota helps make it easier, from the sleek Camry all-wheel drive to the Corolla hybrid all-wheel drive. The Tundra is their truck that's known for power, durability, and off-road capabilities, perfect for our Chicago weather. Headed to the big game or spring break? Spacious Grand Highlander's the perfect ride with all-wheel drive to keep you and yours safe. So you bring the action, and Toyota will bring the traction. Toyota, let's go places. What a time to become a CHGO diehard, or as I like to call them affectionately, the sickos. Become a CHGO diehard and upgrade your fandom today. Get access to our exclusive written content and a free t-shirt, plenty of discounts on future merch and events, plus access to our CHGO Discord lounge where we all hang out and talk Chicago sports and so much more. Go to allchgo.com for the latest information on how you can join thousands of CHGO diehards in our community. We can't wait to connect with you on an even greater level. We have the big draft party coming up. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait.
115 Bourbon Street this year.
Yeah. Okay. Game Time makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch, kickoff, tip-off, or any other event that you're going to, all right? With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guaranteed, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. I tell people this all the time. I get on the red line at Argyle, and then I get off at Addison, and then when I get off and I see beautiful, historic Wrigley Field, I open up Game Time because I'm thinking about when can I get the cheapest ticket or at least the best value ticket before I go inside to watch the Cubs hopefully win. And it is always right before first pitch, all right? So that's when I open it up, is when I get off the red line. All right, some of the features, all right? Zone deals. Save even more when you choose a section and let Game Time choose the seats. You save money just by letting Game Time kind of choose where to sit, right? They have all-in pricing. When you toggle that feature, it shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. No one hates a bait and switch like Luke Stuckmeyer, I promise you. He complains about bait and switches all the time.
Despise it.
Despises it. All right. Seat views. Get a panoramic view for your seat in the app before you buy. No one wants to sit behind the pole. No one. I promise you. All right. It's a good feature. And then they have the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry with Game Time ticket coverage. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem with code CHGO for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Luke, I would like to tell you, if you haven't seen in Slack, Jake put it in there.
No.
He said Cubs facts.
Okay.
Only 3 MLB teams have 3 players with 4+ homers so far this season. Yankees, Dodgers, and Cubs.
Right. And I love all the positive stats. I don't want to hit our boss with a bottle spray yet. But we do have to remember they've played 2 more games than some teams. So the stats are up there. But some of them, they're so far ahead that it's clear that they're one of the better teams.
Did they hit a home run in Japan, though? They didn't hit a home run in Japan.
Tucker hit one off the wall that some
Matt
people
Shaw deep.
If it would have hit the ceiling, it would have counted as a home run.
Yeah. I also like Greg's comment. Greg Hawkins. I think he's new to the chat at least because I haven't seen him in here before.
Great shirt, Greg, by the way.
Yeah, great shirt in the picture. Says, you can't make a man give the people a quality chug and then accuse him of being Delulu.
No, I can. I do all the time. That's the way it works. That's it has been a very good chat on the new CHGO Cubs YouTube channel.
Faces in here, and then
it's rolling.
I also see some regulars. Carrie says she's proud to be a sicko. I need to give her a shout out. I totally didn't notice this until like a week after, but Carrie Venmo'd me $10 when I went to spring training. And said,
I told you I don't have the Venmo, but I need to get it.
She Venmo'd me.
People are just handing out cash.
She Venmo'd me $10 to just a beer on her because she knew I was going to spring training.
That's
but I didn't,
a dedicated sicko right there.
I was
diehard.
I was busy. I had all these. I didn't read a lot of texts, so my Venmo notification I got from my text that the day she said I didn't see it until a week after. So it was one of those oh my god, I can't believe I didn't reply right away. But anyway. We got some real sickos who will, they'll really treat you right in here. So it's cool to see you all here after a big win.
A lot of the old regulars are here, right?
Yes,
Becky's here, Barb's here, Shane, Sean, people that we see every game. But we do like to see the new names and new faces in there too. Hawkeye's here again.
Mike, the Cubs fan, my Delulu is real. Please spray me.
Now Mike has asked to be sprayed 3 times, and it's getting a little kinky at this point.
At this rate, people are going to be lining up outside the CHGO studio. So excuse me, what are you doing here?
But if you want to be sprayed tonight, there you go.
You're like the Pope.
Luke Stuckmeyer's just going to be outside spraying everyone.
It's just like a
calm down.
It's like a foam party up in here.
When does the
Joey? You ever been to a foam party?
I can't say that I have, but it looks like a great time.
When do we remove the reality spray if the team's 20 games above 500?
Well, you're still going to keep it around because people are going to be dreaming about they're already doing it, saying that Dodgers have just lost 2 to the Nationals.
Here we come.
We're going to sweep them. Let's all settle down. Enjoy it. Got to get a Venmo, Carrie says.
Yep. Is he spraying Cody with alcohol? No, that is water.
No, that's a good idea, Dr. Professor 756. I should start charging people in the chat for sprays.
Super chat.
Pretty soon, this isn't going to be free on the new CHGO Cubs YouTube channel. Not just giving away this tap water. Got to charge you for everything.
Yeah.
Emily Harley Reid too, as well, with some real talk.
Through the bank app guy, just like my dad. I don't even have the Zelle. My wife does, but I don't have the
times
Zelle.
I've tried to send Luke money, it always turns into
you got to send it to my wife.
I got to send it to your wife, yeah.
Hey, so we talked about the offense, and the offense was great, and they have all these hits and all these runs in the first 2 games against the Rangers, and we had heard that the Rangers have been pitching well coming in here, and it was cold, so it's just surprising that it has continued.
Mm-hmm.
What about the pitching? Tyone, 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. I thought it was fine for your 3 or 4 starter.
Yeah.
Sometimes he gives you a better start, but he still gave you 6 innings, which I like to see.
I think it was the 2nd inning. He really didn't help himself. There were a few a few dribblers hit back to him, and he just didn't field him, and that led to 2 runs coming in. Excuse me, I got the hiccups after that beer bat.
It's not the beer bat. It's the Delulu.
The Delulu, sorry. One of the 2. So he didn't help himself in the 2nd inning, but he really calmed down after that. He gave up the solo shot to Wyatt Langford, which that was a nuke. But yeah, I mean, he's fine. There are 3 things that are for sure: death, taxes, and Jamison Tyone's going to eat you innings, and that is what he did. He got you 6 strong innings tonight. The Cubs scored some runs for him. I felt like he really settled in the middle innings. And I didn't feel like the weather really impacted him or the effect of the baseballs either. I mean, outside, the wind didn't stop that home run from flying out. But ground balls, I just didn't feel like a lot of hard contact came against him. If by the end of the year he is if by the end of the year he is your 5th best starter, that's a massive win for the team. Because in my head, I'm thinking that Matt Boyd continues to pitch like he did.
Mm-hmm.
The Cubs have added a starter at the trade deadline. And then you have one of your young pitchers have emerged. Like Ben Brown will be better, and like Cade Horton will probably be called up at some point, and maybe he's in your rotation. Like those two things, like those are 2 wild cards, Ben Brown and Cade Horton. But if Matt Boyd continues to pitch like he is, and potentially you add a starter at the deadline, then yeah, like you're really cooking if Jameson Taillon is your 5th best starter. And the way I view him, it's like he goes out there and he finds a way to keep you in the game and just eats innings for you. Is he going to have games like he did in Arizona where he gives up 2 bombs and he gives up 4 or 5 runs? Yeah, that'll happen.
He had a really good stretch for part of the season last year, though, too.
Yeah.
You know, that he'll go through stretches where you're like, wow, that's the guy we were hoping for.
He's really pitched well at Wrigley Field, though. I remember on the broadcast to start the game, he has an ERA in the 2s at Wrigley Field last year. So, you know, he really likes pitching at Wrigley, and he has success there. And, you know, it's good when your starters have that kind of a stat at home, especially. Different ballparks can be different. Like in Arizona, that ballpark the chaos happens there all the time, you know. A very friendly hitter ballpark. Wrigley in April, not necessarily hitter friendly, except for the 2025 Chicago Cubs, apparently. But, you know, I've thought that he was you'd like to see your starters continue to do that. Steele last night, Taillon tonight. Let's see if Shota keeps it going tomorrow. I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, Michael says in the live YouTube chat, Taillon gets no love, and it's ridiculous. Besides the first 2 to 3 months as a Cub, he's been fantastic. Matthew Gregory says he was good last year. I think he'll be solid again. Neeran says you need a better number 3 in a pennant race in October. If he is your number 3 by then. Like if Boyd is healthy, maybe Boyd jumps up into that 3 spot or somebody else. Let's just wait and see how the season plays out. I don't want to talk too much about the bullpen because I know they gave up the runs and it could have gotten ugly and we could have been circling this game again, but I don't think they really pitched that poorly. Okay. I really don't. It wasn't Merriweather's best outing, but Presley had a 4-run lead, and so I was fine with the way he pitched tonight. And Porter Hodge probably deserved better. Like they didn't really hit the ball around on him. Yeah, he gave up a run, but it wasn't. If there's one bullpen guy that's in the circle of trust that's in the middle, if he's the bullseye, it's Porter Hodge still.
Yeah, I mean, Brad Keller didn't pitch tonight, so in my circle of trust, he's still the same. Porter Hodge was totally like babbipped, if you could call it that, right? Like
drops in right field, and
he looked electric before that ground ball to third base. And because of how the Cubs were defensively aligned, Birdie, he had to go a direction he didn't want to and then have to try and make a strong throw. Give the credit to the runner for the Rangers who hit that ball and beat it out. Fine. It's a single, whatever, right? Like it's an infield hit.
Fluky hits, Near. Right? So that's what I would call it too.
Yeah. I don't know about anyone else, but I thought the ball that was hit to right field after that is more on Kyle Tucker than it is on Porter Hodge. I thought that Kyle Tucker could have made that catch, and I think the only reason that he didn't was because he doesn't have a lot of experience in right field. I'm not advocating for him to dive for balls and going into the stands or, run into that brick wall. I'm not advocating for that. And maybe make an argument that was a business decision to not do that.
I'm fine with that.
Right.
To be honest with you. I don't want him running into the wall in April.
Should that ball, if you can find a way to not let that ball get past you to where it's not a triple, fine. That I would prefer that, right? I think the way he played it is worth the criticism, I guess. But the way, when I've watched the replay a few times, I'm like, I feel like he could have caught the ball, but just inexperience out there. It was like a learning moment for him. So agree or disagree. I don't really put that on Porter Hodge. Now, Julian Merriweather, and this tonight was the first time he gave up runs of the season. So, I think he gave up a double and a triple, and that led to 2 runs. And so
He's human.
The double, he gave up the double, then the triple, scored a run, and then an RBI ground out after that. Got out of the inning, didn't give up the lead. You'd like to be able to, you of course you would like to, you'd like him to have a 0.00 earned run average all season, but has he came out of my circle of trust? No.
And the offense picked him up.
And then Presley, you're up 4, got ground balls. He gave up one hit. I think there was an infield hit in there too.
He was fine.
And he didn't walk anyone. And one thing that he did that he hasn't been doing was first pitch strikes.
Yes.
So
didn't walk the leadoff guy. That was nice.
Yeah. What I say is in my circle of trust, no, but I guess maybe he's on the outside looking in right now. If he has another nice outing. I didn't feel like he threw 1,000 pitches tonight either. So yeah, man, I'm not trying to sugarcoat the bullpen. I'm just saying that tonight, yeah, there's some things to complain about. And yeah, I still have concerns about the bullpen, but you can't expect Julian Merriweather to have a 0.00 earned run average all season. What I can expect is that some of these other guys step up and start pitching better. That's what I can, if not accept or not expect. It's something that I should demand, and the Cubs should be demanding as well. Or someone else is going to get optioned, and someone else is going to get an opportunity. So it's not to me tonight's not a big crazy bullpen.
There's plenty of time to worry about that. They're in first place and they've won 3 straight series. Yeah. Right. So we'll get to more on that. We're also going to do a check on our Call Your Cub predictions from the weekend in just a second and look ahead to tomorrow. But first, a word from our sponsors. Our friends at Shady Rays are helping you get in the right frame of mind with their premium polarized shades that will not break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by more than 300,000 people. Their sunglasses have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor adventures. With so many colors available, you're definitely going to find a pair that's perfect for you. Maybe in your team colors. That's right. If your shades ever go missing, you're taking an unexpected hit. Don't sweat it. They have the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair is backed by their lost or broken replacement program. If you don't love your shades, exchange them for a new pair. Worry-free within 30 days. No risk when you shop. Their team has your back. CHGO viewers and listeners, pay attention. Go to shadyrays.com and save 35% off those polarized sunglasses with the code CHGO. More than 300,000 people have rated those Shady Rays 5 stars, so use the code CHGO today at shadyrays.com.
I got a pair, or Chris got me a pair, so I'm excited to put them on.
Nice.
You're right? Lucy Nicotine. What's your favorite flavor from Lucy?
It's an easy answer, Cody. All of them.
All of them, Matt. You're absolutely right. They have different strengths depending on your nicotine intake.
All of them.
For you, it's all of them? Okay. Might not be a bad play to use when the Cubs bullpen comes in. It might help you relax. It sure as heck is going to help me relax, okay? So when you throw in your Lucy, that would be my number one time to do it, is when the Cubs bullpen is coming in to try and hold a lead. All right. So level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/CHGO and use promo code CHGO2025 and get 20% off your first order. Lucy has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. Again, that's lucy.co and use code CHGO2025 to get 20% off. And here comes the fine print, Luke. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. There was a few chats.
Yeah, and by the way, speaking of the chat, if you're over on the CHGO Sports YouTube page, we're not going to be there at all tomorrow.
Yeah, so
starting tomorrow, that's gone. We're only on the new CHGO Cubs YouTube channel. So if you haven't gone over there and subscribed, go ahead and do it. And if you're also sitting there on the CHGO Sports page right now going, hey, where's the chat? I thought they have a chat. What chat are they reading? I don't see a chat. It's because we shut it off because it's shutting down for us, and we are moving over just to our own CHGO Cubs YouTube channel.
I like Fitz's comment here. He says, between Sunnyside, Lucy, and Sam Adams, we don't have to feel anything during a bullpen scare.
We're giving you a good cocktail. Good cocktail combo.
Yeah, there you go.
1, 2, 3.
What There was a chat. Do you have it starred, Joey? From Steven. He said, "This is where I am concerned about the Cubs minor league system. The system has plenty of hitting prospects, but outside of Horton, who's a pitcher who can help." I mean, Horton is a starter. As far as starters, yeah, Horton might be the only one.
Luke Little, we would like to see come in the bullpen.
Yeah. And Brandon Birdsell is a guy, too, that, like, I don't know. He's a guy who can start. But I'm not really caring about starters. The way that you frame the comment, it's like they do have relievers, though, whether it is Luke Little or Palencia or...
Do we feel like Tyson Miller may, at some point, play a factor?
Yeah, well, he's on the injured list.
No, 100%, but he was effective last year and was a nice little surprise, and if he can get healthy, he could be a guy.
He had a terrible spring training, so I don't exactly feel super excited for him to return as much as, hell, maybe it will be better off for him. But
maybe that was the injury. Yeah. And by the way, Steven, speaking of minor league system, Baseball America just ranked the minor league teams, like talent on minor league teams at all levels. So you're talking AAA, AA, all that stuff. The most talented minor league baseball team, according to Baseball America, the Iowa Cubs. It's good to know.
It's good.
That means guys that are close to the major leagues.
Yeah.
Most talent. You know who's number 2?
Charlotte Knights.
Charlotte Knights of the White Sox. You know who's number 6? Birmingham Barons, the Sox AA team. You know who's number 8? The actual Chicago White Sox. But I'm bumped.
Is that your way of getting in a nice little?
That was a jab. It's a jab. It's unnecessary, but
unnecessary.
It was laying there on a platter. There's their AAA team, their AA team, and their major league team all made the best minor league teams in baseball.
Matthew Gregory, good diehard. He mentions Ryan Brazier's also on the IL. Like they're gonna get some guys back. I am surprised that they haven't just gone ahead and like optioned a guy yet. Like if Pearson has another bad outing, like is he going to Iowa? Like I like Pearson. I like the thought of him, like the stuff and all of that. But if he can't consistently throw strikes, it's like
Daniel Palencia 2.0,
right? And let's give the other guy that has had that problem, a shot, I guess. But I think they need to get Brazier back, and Tyson Miller probably a nice return as well, just in terms of like experience and.
Haven't seen a ton from Eli Morgan recently.
Yeah, he is way out.
He's in the lab.
He's out of the circle. He's down in a triangle.
Yeah. And they need him to be good. I mean, they just traded for him from the Guardians back in like November. Sent like a low A prospect for him, and he was good for the Guardians last year, and had an earned run average under 3. So it's just like I feel like he will get it going, but it's you want to talk about bad first impressions. Eli Morgan is at the top of the list. So.
Well, I think I heard Jed Hoyer recently talking about how we all know how volatile bullpens are. Yeah. It's the toughest thing to predict. Mm-hmm. That's why every team's trying to spend on it. That's why it's the most chased thing at the trade deadline, because at least then you might know who's had a good start to the season in the bullpen as a reliever. But that doesn't mean when you get them, they're going to continue to be good. Mm-hmm. And it's why he said, we will still be looking for answers in our farm system for the bullpen and outside of the team.
Yeah.
So there's still going to be a lot. There's going to be a revolving door of some guys that go in and out of this.
I'm curious.
System.
I'm curious if there is a reliever on one of these teams that's openly tanking this year that, maybe they would be open
15
to
games in.
Yeah.
They're just ready to
or even in
move along.
Even in like May, I've
too early to bring up the Mason Miller talks again, or is that going to be pricey? Is that a little too pricey for what we're trying to accomplish here?
I mean, if we trade for Mason Miller, we ain't going to be trading for a starter. That's for sure.
That's what I was asking. So I was asking the chat just today. If you could pick one.
I'd like to find out what the biggest need is.
Yeah.
Before I go ahead and unless there was just a great deal, which you're not going to get right now because the team's going to say, well, I might as well hold him and get the value of a panic move from some teams where multiple teams are bidding on it. Like right now, how many teams are calling saying that we need Mason Miller? We need Mason.
Mhm.
Not many, because we're not even 20 games into the season.
Right.
You're going to increase the amount of teams that are trying to get that player. So you're not likely to get the best deal right now, anyways.
Yeah.
So I'd like to know if it's going to be a starter or a bat or a reliever.
I'll say this
or
about
2 out of 3.
I'll say this about Mason Miller. Last year, I was like really kind of annoyed about the discourse of having the conversation, because I just didn't think, I didn't think the A's were going to trade him.
Mm-hmm.
B, I thought, why would we trade for this guy now when this team is not that good? But if this team is good and we get to July and the A's are out of it and me and Luke look like idiots for thinking that they'd be a playoff team, I'm just going to make fun of us all season for that, by the way. And, the A's have him out on the market, then if this team is good, if this team is like legitimately good, I'll be more into the discourse of at least talking about it, because last year I just was like, I get why you'd want to do it, but you were going to have to give up an arm, a leg, 2 more arms and a leg after that, just because he's so cheap and he's so talented and so good. And he's still that now, but you're also another year ahead of time and less years of control and compared to last year. But that doesn't even, he's so cheap and he's so talented, so good. Like, he's going to cost you so much now, as much as he did last year. But to me, it was all about, if you're going to do that, you do that when you're at least really in the playoff conversation, not like a fringe wild card team.
Right. And if you wanted to play the expensive hypothetical, Astros fall out of the race. His peripherals look pretty good. And what if Josh Hader hits the market?
Do his peripherals look better this year?
Oh, I'm just saying in July. I'm saying he's having a great season, but the Astros are not. They've already been pretty clear about shaving off payroll because they traded a gentleman named Kyle Tucker.
Sure.
All it would really cost you probably is money and a reunion with Craig Counsell and Josh Hader. That's just the other side of paying for somebody expensive, to the other side of what you're saying with Mason Miller.
I'd have to delete a lot of tweets about Josh Hader.
Well, so would he. He'd have to delete some tweets that he tweeted himself. But yeah.
I mean, that's an interesting name, though. We don't. But he's on like a 5-year deal, so he's got 4 more years.
No, it's money.
Greg, we're going to trade for Jesse Chavez,
who's on the Braves for like the 5th time in 5 years.
He's, I think, 49 years old now.
He could take a spray to the face with those goggles. He's ready for it.
That's right. He's ready for the celebration in the locker room.
Yeah.
So our call your Cub for the series. We're doing it for series now. Cody has PCA this series. I have Tucker, and Kevin Wells has Dansby. So we've got 3 pretty good guys. PCA in the first 2 games. First, he was 1 for 3 with a walk and a stolen base and a run scored. Tonight, 3 for 5, 2 RBI, 2 stolen bases. Tucker, 2 for 5 in the first game with an RBI and a run, and 2 for 4 tonight with 2 runs scored. Dansby was 0 for 3 with a strikeout in game 1, but tonight, what was he, 2 for 4? 4 RBI.
Mm-hmm. With a homer.
And a stolen base.
Sac fly.
And a game-winning hit.
Yeah.
You can make an argument for all 3 of them.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Tomorrow will be the
Hopefully
telling.
they play the game tomorrow.
Yeah. No, that's
right
fun.
down to the wire, down to the wire. And Shota on the mound tomorrow. And all he's done at Wrigley Field is dominate since he got here. Dominating. 17 starts at Wrigley Field, 14 Cubs wins. I know some people. I know some of the young folks out there don't care about wins at all. It's all about the other stats.
I did bet on Jamison Tyone to record a win tonight, and he would have if the bullpen didn't do it. Well, bullpen and defense, whatever.
My trusty app says it's really not supposed to rain till like 2:30, 3 o'clock tomorrow. That could adjust, but it looks like they'll at least start the game.
So prepare for a rain delay.
No, please. No.
Or at least get 5 or 6 innings in. If you're going to ramp up your best pitcher, or Shota, one of your best pitchers, you're going to use them. Hopefully,
wait till Thursday, but because they're off. But like Thursday is supposed to be rainy too.
Really?
Is that an
yes,
MLB?
Barb, tomorrow is a day game. That's right. They will start that game. Shota Day is a win. He's coming off his longest start of his Cubs career. and 20 of his first 26 batters were first pitch strike. That's what I want to see. I want to see Shota do what he does, but most importantly, the key for him, I think, always is don't walk guys.
Yeah.
Keep those free guys off the bases, and then if you do give up a homer, it's a solo homer.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, would think that the win might help tomorrow a little bit too, but just don't give the free passes. It's the 2-run homers and the 3-run homers that kill you. The Cubs haven't been getting a lot of those this year, but they're winning because they're doing everything else well.
Yeah. No. Who pitches for the Rangers tomorrow?
I'm not sure who the Rangers. Let's see who the Rangers have.
It's not DeGrom because I think he goes
No,
on
they
Thursday.
missed DeGrom and Leiter's hurt.
Maley. Tyler Maley.
Oh, former Cincinnati Red,
Yeah.
who's probably mystified a past Cubs offense.
You know what?
Previous years.
Yeah.
You blew the sweep against the Padres. Go ahead and sweep the Rangers.
Yeah.
They were 8-2 coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Sufficiently cool them off,
Yeah.
both physically and is it metaphorically? Is that what you say? I don't really know.
Well,
too
Shota
smart for
pitches
me.
well at home, and he pitched well on Friday. As we saw, he's started the season well. There's no reason that I should feel any worry about Shota at this point. And yeah, I mean, let's go sweep a series tomorrow, man. I think this team has scored early each of the last, like this entire homestand. Score early against Maley. I do have some PTSD from the past when he was with the Reds. I feel like he had 1 or 2 good starts against the Cubs, but
This is a different
Whatever.
Cubs lineup.
yeah.
Didn't have Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, it's that, and then also, I expect the Rangers to come out with no matter what the weather is, motivated. They don't want to get swept tomorrow. So, key is to score early. Shota goes deep, and then can someone in this bullpen that no one feels confident in? Can someone step up? Because that's the other thing.
Or
now.
can Shota go 8? Just did 7 1/3, longest start of his. How about moving it up another one?
Well, depending on how this weather goes,
That's right.
like if they have to delay the game for more than a half
Nah,
hour.
let's not talk about delays. I can't.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's a
Remember,
possibility.
and a reminder to everybody that's out there on currently the CHGO Sports page or CHGO Cubs YouTube channel. Only starting tomorrow, only CHGO Cubs channel. We will not be on the CHGO Sports YouTube page anymore.
Yes.
So subscribe tonight. So tomorrow, after they sweep and we fly the W, you can all be here for the beer bat chug and to get sprayed down.
If we sweep tomorrow, I'll do 2 beer bats live.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Whoa.
Double beer bat
We'll do 2 beer bats tomorrow.
separated by a couple innings.
Back to back Jacks.
I wanted to on Sunday. I tweeted that on
We were
Sunday.
there. We were there.
We'll do double beer bats for sweeps this year. We'll just make it a thing. But
Barb figured it out. They got a new network. She says, well, we have a new YouTube channel.
it's not a new network. We're just on
Just
a new YouTube channel. Yeah.
Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by Toyota and Bet365. Back here tomorrow after the day game.
After the
hopefully
game.
a Cubs sweep only on the new CHGO Cubs YouTube channel. Thanks to everybody that listens in podcast form as well. Hit the like button, the positive reviews. Until then, thanks for watching, thanks for hanging, and fly the W.
We all silly like the mayor.